Welcome to our preview of this year's Changing Currents in Employment Law, the DC Bar's Fall Employment CLE. I'm Scott Oswald. I am Faculty Chair of Changing Currents in Employment Law. And today I'm joined with Alison Davis, a partner with Littler Mendelson's DC office. Hi, Alison.
Hey, Scott. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Hey, let's talk about your panel. It's entitled Home Equity: How COVID-19 May Change the Law of Reasonable Accommodation. Tell us a little about your speaking partner and maybe a few things that we'll learn from this panel.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about the new world that we're entering now. Prior to COVID, we all pretty well were comfortable with how to deal with requests for telework. It didn't happen frequently, but we gave it serious consideration and it happened occasionally. And then suddenly COVID came along and all of us were teleworking.
And that all changed probably, right? Overnight.
Overnight it changed. And now we're at a point where we're all talking about return to office. And we're going to talk about what we need to think about going forward, because our old mindset about telework and offering as an accommodation has changed because of the pandemic.
So a lot of businesses are considering going to kind of a hybrid model, Alison. What kind of advice are you giving to your clients right now who are thinking about that?
The one thing that has not changed is that telework is still being treated as an accommodation, and we still need to go through the interactive process. So we shouldn't just assume that everybody's going to be still entitled to telework if they request it as a form of accommodation. We need to go through each situation on a case-by-case basis like we did before. That's the one thing that has not changed.
And so when an employee comes in and says, look, I have maybe a medical condition, or I have a firmly held religious belief, what should HR be thinking about when that employee comes knocking?
They need to have a checklist in their mind of the questions that they need to ask when an employee comes in and says, I can't come into the office because I haven't been vaccinated because I am immune compromised. Does that mean that they should be allowed to telework? Are there adjustments that can be made once everybody comes back that would protect that individual? We just need to have the questions and ready, and shouldn't have a knee-jerk reaction when the request comes in.
So I know one of the things you're going to be talking about in your panel is kind of the changed workplace for the future. When you look a couple of years down the road at what the workplace will look like in 2 years, what do you think? What do we see?
Pre-COVID, my crystal ball worked really well. Now, all I can say is it's going to be a day by day, and I really can't predict where we're going to be.
So even more of a reason to come to Changing Currents in Employment Law to your panel. Alison, thank you. And we look forward to seeing each of you at this year's Changing Currents in Employment Law. It's Tuesday, October 26th at 6 p.m. You can find us at dcbar.org.
Looking forward to it.